Hello, and welcome to the Running in the Dark podcast, the podcast about business, not running. And welcome to episode 4. Thank you so much for continuing on this journey with me. I have to stress to everyone that I am so new to podcasting. I've never ever done this before. So please keep your feedback coming, positive. I say negative. If you're going to be negative, please give me constructive feedback. Don't just go, Katherine, you're rubbish. But please keep your feedback coming because that's the only way we're going to learn and get better. We are now in the process of the second part of this podcast, which is where we're going to be interviewing amazing people who are running businesses and are entrepreneurs despite facing life challenges. So we think we've sorted on interview questions, but if anyone has an idea, if anyone thinks it would be really amazing to know how people do this, please let us know and we will ask them. So stay tuned for that. Now, today's episode. So today's episode, I think, is one that people need to hear. So we always hear the customer's always right. Everyone who runs a business or deals with people knows that that is not always true. So today we are talking about how you handle it when you know the customer is wrong. And I'm sharing some of my own experiences of this. So one thing I'm just going to stress, I stress it during the episode as well, but it's remember to write things down. I come from an agency background. We have a lot of emails, we have a lot of paper chains, but it doesn't matter what sector you are in, what kind of business you run, what kind of people you deal with. Write stuff down. Write it down in a diary, write it down in a notebook and date it. Because then you have a record of everything that's been said and everything that's going on in, let's face it, if you're in this situation, it's a turbulent phase of your relationship. Might not be, you might be going, Katherine, I've got great client relationships and great customer relationships. I can tell them that they are wrong and everything will be fine. You may be a lucky unicorn. So let me know what you think of today's episode. As always, I hope I am helpful and I will look forward to seeing you next week.
Today's lesson: the customer is always right. But what about when they're wrong? Today's lesson is primarily aimed at consultants and freelancers and anyone who sells a service. But I feel like this is a problem that happens across the board. We've all been told that the customer is always right, but unfortunately, sometimes they're wrong. And what happens when you're selling advice or a service and the customer comes to you and they go, we've got this great idea, and they're super excited, and you go, oh, wow, that's a terrible idea. But they love it and they want to push forward. So what do you do? What do you do when you know the customer is wrong and this is a risky idea? So I don't know whether this is the right answer, but this is how we've always handled it. So the first thing we do is we talk to the client about their idea. And we completely play devil's advocate and we say to them, we're going to put ourselves in the awkward position and we're going to ask you all of the questions, which is, what happens if someone takes it this way? What if someone does this? What if it goes viral? We throw the questions to them that they would normally throw to us when we pitch an idea. We then explain any kind of technical things that could cause issues, but if they still think it's a brilliant idea, we then go, here are our concerns, and we list them. These are the things that we're worried about. What we do from here is we just then have a very open conversation and we explain we are concerned about brand, we are concerned about if it goes this way. And we've actually got a part in our contract that says we are allowed to bounce back and go, if something has happened that we are concerned about, if you're putting an idea forward that we are concerned about, we can say, we have worries, these are what they are. And normally that ends in a really nice adult conversation, but sometimes the customer still goes, we want to try it. So what do? So this is how we handle it. After we've had that conversation, we then send an email chain. So we have a paper chain to go back on. So we go, as per our conversation, this is what you would like us to do. These are our concerns. However, if you are happy, we will carry on. Once the project or thing has gone live, we will then review it. We have a paper trail just in case it goes wrong. And just in case the client then goes, oh, well, you should have warned me. And then we can go, well, we did. To date, we have never had to use that paper trail at all, but it's just a safety net for you. It just allows you to know that it's there. And if, heaven forbid, someone does go, oh, well, it's your fault, you can go, actually, we warned you about this. On one occasion, we've had a client put an idea forward which we felt was so risky we couldn't be part of. We put forward our concerns, and it got to the point where we said, actually, we can't do this for you. Here's our list of worries, and unfortunately, we can't. Now, if you would like us to teach you how to do it, we can do that. We can give you the controls, and actually, we can make sure we're online to help mitigate any risk and kind of watch things. Now, I'm not going to lie, that conversation didn't end very well, and the client went ahead and did it anyway, and actually we lost the work. I was glad that we lost that work because I knew that it was going to add additional stress and additional pressure to us as a business to try to manage. And this is the one thing with having these hard conversations is sometimes you will lose work. And if you do, I mean, it's probably a blessing. If you haven't got a strong enough relationship with your client to go, I am worried about this, here are my concerns. And if you, between you, can't come up with mutuality, it's probably a sign that it's not the best professional relationship anyway. So what happens if you say to them that you won't do it and you lose the work? Be sad, mourn for it, but then just think, okay, onwards and upwards, have faith that things will continue. If you go live and it doesn't work, be humble. Say to the client, this is what we thought would happen, but don't worry, we've mitigated any possible risk and let's just move forward onto the next thing, onwards and upwards. And if it does work, and if you were wrong and the client was right, and actually it turns out to be a phenomenal success, congratulate them and apologize and say, we're so sorry for, putting in any additional stress to this, but we're doing our job by protecting you. Congratulations, we're so pleased it worked well. Be humble in any area of this. Be humble in defeat and be humble in success. So hopefully that will help some of you next time you are in the position of, oh, what do I do? I'm really worried about this. As I said, I don't know if it's the right or the wrong way to handle it, but it's what we've done, and it has always worked for us in the end. Good luck.
Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Running in the Dark podcast. Please let me know if I've been helpful, any feedback, or if you have any questions I can help with. I'm on every social media network at Katherine, so find me, let me know, and I'll look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a good one.